If I always do what I've always done, then I'll always get what I always got. I do not disagree with that statement. I think that statement is absolutely true. I heard it by a young man who was talking about bad habits, uh, especially around spending habits. And I have to admit, I used to have terrible spending habits. It took me a long time to learn that when I go to work and I get my meal from McDonald's, Burger King, Subway, sushi, whatever, just some restaurant, I'm going to spend significantly more than what that food would cost me at home supplying my home from the grocery store. It took me a long time to really understand that it was worth it. It was worth just making that food from home and learning how to make that food taste good. And this definitely benefited my budget. I am now an unemployed man, and I need to get an income. And so the traditional way to get that income is to go find a job, to hunt for work and get that paycheck. And I feel such a resistance to being successful in that place. I need to find work. I've got bills to pay, but I don't want to be working so hard to make somebody else rich, which is rich coming from me since I need to have an income. And the easiest way to gain an income is to go look for a minimum wage, nothing job to just make money. Now, admittedly, I am looking for work. I've been putting out the resumes, but I guess they're not looking for me right now. But I got to admit that I feel a resistance, a frustration. You see, I used to work 90 hours a week, and I worked hard, and I put in the time, and I did not make much money. My employer, though, made a lot of money. And no shade to employers and to people who are rich. No shade. I want to be rich one day. I want to be rich one day. But I worked just as hard as my employer, but he's the one with the large amount of money. And I want that. I don't want to make other people rich anymore. I want to be the one that becomes rich. And as I hear that statement, if I do what I've always done, I'll always get what I always got. If I always go for employment, I'm always going to make some money. I will, but it's everybody else that gets rich. And I think to myself, it's so frustrating because I don't think that our education set us up for for success. I don't think it did. Well, it set us up for a kind of success. Go get this job, educate yourself, get educated, find a job, and then make a living. I did struggle in that area because I struggled immensely in school and was never able to get to the point of being um, certified. Certified. I never got to the place of graduation, and I never went to university, and so I struggled there. But I see all around me people struggling, bankruptcies, foreclosures on homes, losing their relationships, stuck in dead end jobs, dissatisfaction, frustration, and a lack of fulfillment. And there's a whole conversation happening on the internet and within our culture that's like, this system was not set up for our success. And and yet every generation that comes up, they get told the same thing by us and by the system, the institutions, like, get educated, get that job, and then we'll pay you. and they get rich and we stay, average, below average, and poor. I think that those that were able to become the employers broke out of the system that the education system puts us in. And not only that, they use the system to their benefit. And again, this is not wrong. They found a way to provide a service, to provide a product, to provide what other people want, and scaled it up and got a lot of people to go, I'll come work for you to help supply that. I think that those of us who are in this place where we are flat on our back, or we're just struggling, like we're in our Al Bundy phase, life is kind of just kicked us in the pants and we just deal with it. What if we stopped doing what we have always done so that we could do something different and get something different? What would those things be? I think we need to look at those who have had success, who were where we are and have found their way to this better place, and started to learn how to utilize and take advantage of the system to their own benefit, for the benefit of others as well. It's not that they're robbing people, because this is one of the things that I think gets said a lot, that the wealthy people, they're stealing from the poor, they're stealing from the average person, and taking it for themselves and making themselves rich, and the average man just stays poor. I don't think it's stealing. I don't think they're trying to push anybody down. It's just they're the only ones doing it, or not many are doing it. I think we need to start learning from these people who have figured out how to make themselves rich. So I'm going to say in just a super simple way, to just get out of this grind of 9 to 5, barely having enough money, poverty, and yes, debt as well. We get taught that debt is the only way to get ahead. We've got to buy a car. The car has to be more than what we make. Even if you get a used car, like a really used car, it's still thought of in payments, not in cash. I mean, imagine being able to walk up and just cash. Do you know how much stress that would disappear from our lives if anything that we purchased was only by cash? Meaning, if the price was $10, we pay $10. We don't pay $1 a month, which then ends up being $20 after it's all paid for. No way. I think we got to start looking at how to change what we do. And so I'm taking an action. And I've been thinking about this for a long, long time. But I want to get into save and pay, or just pay, whichever it is. I'm not saving up for an Apple, but I would save up for my next computer and just pay cash for it. No debt. I wonder how much one could save painlessly within a year to then make a significant purchase that we normally would go into debt for. I know myself right now, no more debt. I don't want to be paying for any more debt. I'm deeply in debt right now. Can't pay for it. And when I had the job, I was just maintaining. What could we do to make it so we're not accumulating any more debt? And for me right now, I'm not going to be agreeing to any new purchases at all. Yeah, I'm unemployed, so like, what am I buying? But once I'm employed, that's going to happen. I'm going to get employed, or I'm going to have an income, preferably from something I create and build. No more debt. I will not purchase inside of debt. If I don't have the money cash, that means I can't afford it. That means I don't need it. Because at the end of the day, what do I actually need? Food, water, shelter, clothing. Anything else I can do without it. Save and pay. Yeah, that's the way I'm going. Thanks for watching. God bless you. Bye for now.